When I was psychotic, I had delusions related to my tattoos because delusions tend to be related to the things in your environment, including the art on my body. I got this tattoo that says "Beautiful Dreamer" in a psychotic episode because I had actually wanted the tattoo for quite a long time. I just didn't realize that when I booked the appointment, I'd be psychotic by the time I got there. The reason it says "Beautiful Dreamer" is because I have narcolepsy, but as you can see, I had these little clouds added, and that was because I thought that the clouds were the face of God, and by getting clouds in God's favorite colors, I would be protected by him going into whatever demon praying event I would go into. I also have this tattoo of a labyrinth, and the labyrinth came to me as like a projection of my reality. I believed that I was lost in a labyrinth trying to find my way out, or that I was guiding people through a labyrinth even though there was no one there. In reality, I was just in my room, lying in bed, looking at my shoulder like this. Then I have my Hamsa, which was also for protection, and I believed that if I was talking to anyone who was bad and I touched them with this arm, they would turn good. My thigh has the lament configuration from Hellraiser, and I believed I had a portal to hell on my leg, which was terrifying. I was constantly afraid that demons were gonna come out of my leg anytime I touched it, and I did the best to avoid my leg altogether. And finally, I have my blood seal from Full Metal Alchemist. I believed that this gave me like a spirit bond between me and my twin sister, so that we had a telepathic relationship even from thousands of miles away, and I could access her thoughts anytime I wanted to by turning on the radio and just listening to the lyrics, just to check in on what she was thinking. So there you have it. That's what my tattoos meant to me in Psychosis. They don't mean nearly that much to me anymore, but in that state, they were significant.
Mariana, you go down just like Holy Mary. Mariana Cross, your beauty never ever scared me. Mariana Cross, if you choose to run away with me, I will tickle you internally, and I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions have an echo in so much space. And when you're out there without care, yeah, I was out of touch. But it wasn't because I didn't know enough. I just knew too much. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Possibly.
Get ready with me as I dress how I would on a typical day in Psychosis. To start, I would sometimes wear a swimsuit instead of underwear because I genuinely didn't understand the difference, but it's all the same to me. Next, I would put on brightly colored leggings because I thought I was an alien, and to me, this is what alien skin looks like, and so that's me in my natural form. Then I would have to cover my legs in dark pants to hide my alien skin so no one could tell I wasn't human like them. For some reason, this skin problem only applied to my legs. I don't know why that was the only part of my body affected. After that, I would struggle to know what shirt to wear because of the symbolism attached to it. Would I attract luck and positivity? Would I invite danger? Who could tell? It was a massive problem for me, actually. It was more challenging than it really should have been. I don't know what works. I would ultimately settle on something with my own art on it because it was more powerful that way if it was made by me, so I would be better protected from the evil spirits all around me. I would also sometimes wear a sweatshirt, and here I am putting on an ugly Christmas sweater to manifest Christmas. Obviously, whatever I wore would attract that thing into my life, so I avoided things like skulls and stuck instead with Christmas. Finally, I would wear a hat and sunglasses to protect my thoughts from being projected so that I didn't have to choose my thoughts carefully. It is incredibly exhausting to have to monitor your thoughts constantly all day, so this is a nice break from that. There you have it. That is generally what kind of effort I would put into what I wore. And yes, this was every day, so I sometimes looked very eccentric and I also looked very plain. But there was always hidden meaning behind these choices, so I guess you could say I had my own style. Psychotic chic. Do you feel comfortable sharing any pictures of yourself before psychosis? Yeah, totally. Great question. I said in the video that was commented on that I was like a completely different person and I dressed differently. And I not only dressed differently, I was just like, I was a completely different person and certain things stayed the same, but they changed. It's really hard to explain, but basically here is a peek from before and after my periods of psychosis. I was suicidally depressed throughout my teenage years, and I was really good at masking it because I had been depressed pretty much my whole life by that point. And so everyone thought I was really happy. I had a reputation for being a sweetheart. They called me Mrs. Sunshine. I was very extroverted and I got along well with pretty much everyone. I made friends easily, but I was struggling a lot. I was going into psychosis into my senior year, but I'm not going to count that in this video because that wasn't like a full complete break, that episode, so it didn't actually affect me as much as the others, but this was what that was like. I was also really passionate about camping and I did a lot of camping. I did canoeing and backpacking mostly, and it was my medicine. It helped me more than any other antidepressant ever could. It was the only time that I felt better and free of my symptoms, so it was enormously helpful to me and I really dove into it and I made my whole life around it actually. So that was important to me. So I guess I was wrong. I was actually pretty affected by the psychosis because this is the time that I was in treatment. I was in mental health treatment for a year, and it was partly because I had undiagnosed schizoaffective disorder that was misinterpreted as like behavioral issues, and everyone thought I was a drug addict, but I was really just a psychotic kid who needed a lot of help. So as I said before, I was really into camping and I made a life around it, and I really did. I went to college for outdoor education and leadership where I focused on learning wilderness medicine. I got my wilderness first responder and EMT, which is what this is here. Anyway, it was a hard time for me. I struggled a lot with bullying and I was having negative symptoms going into a psychotic episode. And the combination of these prompted me to drop out of college, and I haven't camped since, unfortunately. It just never came back for me. So this is how it is now. This was after I'd recovered from my most recent episode, and my episodes, if you count the one in high school, were between 2010 and 2020. So 10 years of being in and out of episodes. I had 5 episodes, and the episodes would last a long time. The recovery would last a long time. So I was never really fully stable until I started this little segment at 2021. So, oh, and I'm really tall. Yeah, there's that too. So I struggled to get a lot of things back, and some things never came back. The camping never came back. I'm very artistic, and that took a lot of hard work to get back. I had to make an effort, which I never had to before. It had all always been effortless. And also I became very cynical and I hated everyone, absolutely everyone. Anyone I met, no matter how nice they were, I always hated them. So I've worked really hard to get my love of humanity back, because before psychosis, I had a deep faith in humanity, which I lost. I'm also very introverted now, and I don't like to have a lot of people around me. I have like a few close friends, and I keep it that way because I'm really not interested in building a social group. Socializing isn't really important to me anymore, but maintaining my health is. So I've dedicated my life to my health, which is why so many people tell me, well, you don't seem like the kind of person to have psychosis. And I say, thank you.